Hello, this is Jane Talbot, and today's adventure has been a big one, even though it sounds like a small one. Today I received an email in my in-tray from a literary agent. And if you've been following my adventures, you'll know that I spent quite a while crafting a children's story called The Fairy Thorn, and I spent a lot of time editing it and making it ready for submission to literary agents and publishers. And even going through that process, it really gave me a lot of respect for anyone who writes, and one step further, anyone who tries to get published, because preparing to be published, creating all the documentation, which is different for each publisher and for each literary agent, is a very demanding process. And I thought it was worth it. I thought it was worth going the extra mile to see if it was possible for me to get my work published. This was a big little email because encased in this email would be a yes or a no. And what's been really important for me in this adventure is to experience what it's like not to have total success. I think sometimes for some people the fear of failure prevents them from diving into the possibilities that life offers to us. And so it was really important for me not only to share my successes, but also to share my so-called failures. It's not often whether we succeed or fail. It's what we think other people will think about us if we succeed or fail. And I wanted to just check out how I was tied up in that pattern, if at all. So when I saw the email fall into my in-tray, my heart was pounding, and I don't think I've felt that kind of anticipation since 30 years ago, actually. When I got my A-levels, we had to queue up, and they would hand this bit of paper over to us, and you knew what was happening. Everyone had the same thing happen. A piece of paper was handed through this little hole in a piece of glass, and they would open it, and you would see a smile, a bemused look, or despair. And you kind of knew what was going on. And so 30 years ago, I was standing in this queue, hoping that there would be something in that piece of paper that was good news for me, and it was. So when the email came in to my in-tray, I had that same feeling, I wonder what's in it, and I wonder how I will react to whatever the news is. It was one of my earlier submissions, and I do know that as time went on, I got better at making submissions, at crafting the covering letter. This was one of my earlier submissions, and they said that they weren't sufficiently enthusiastic about my writing, and that this was a standard letter. And so, because it was a standard letter, they didn't have time to give individual feedback. So I didn't succeed. And as I read it, knowing that I hadn't succeeded, do you know how I felt? Totally okay. Absolutely okay. And one of the reasons I think I felt so okay is that I know J.K. Rowling had experiences where other people didn't find that they were particularly enthusiastic about her writing. So that I know that everyone is not going to like what I've written, but I do know I gave it my best shot. So I felt okay about that. And then this extraordinary thing happened. A greater desire to write landed on my shoulders. Landing on my shoulders isn't right, it kind of started in my stomach and then spread out. A greater desire to write I didn't succeed, so I had a greater desire to write. How brilliant is that? So I wanted to share with you my experience. I think it's really important to be able to be open to all possibility. Whether you're going to succeed or not succeed, it doesn't matter. This really is an experience that I'm so glad that I'm having, because I've gone so much further than I would have. In the past I would have written it and then squirreled it away somewhere, but I haven't. And this big spotlight is on me and my work. And that's another distinction. It's on my work, not me. Maybe that's why I'm not taking it so personally. So if there's one thing I'd like to share with you today is, do you know what? It doesn't really matter what other people think. If you want to have a go at something, have a go at it. And the reason you should really consider having a go at it right now is the more you do it, the better you get at it. And there will come a time where I will get some feedback, and it might be good feedback and it might not be so great feedback, but it will give me information that I can use should I want to become published, or should I want to publish myself. It is all good. It is all experience, and it feels like real living. It's okay. Give it a go. See you tomorrow.